Okay, so we're going to talk about, we are leading into a monologue project, which we do every year, but we are going to talk about how do we create characters? How do we create these characters for monologues? So I want you to think about, just in your experience in drama class, how do you create characters? Not one that a playwright has given you, but how do you create an original character? Where do those ideas come from? Yes?
I think you have to know the backstory behind the character.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's a good point. You know the backstory, you know the history. Yes?
Maybe you can take traits from people you already know.
Okay, that's a great point. Traits from people that you already know. That's a great idea. Yes?
You could maybe have like a past experience in mind that you want to like share with people to give them sort of an idea of what you feel and how you can portray characters.
Okay, does anybody remember, what do we call that? When you're tapping into something from your own, does anybody remember? Yes? Emotional memories. And that's a great source. And everybody has your own, their individual. That's a great resource because everybody has their own emotional memories. Anybody else? How do we create these characters literally from, where do they come from? What tool that we all have, what do you use? Where do they come from?
Our imagination.
Your imaginations. And you all have them. Actually, you have awesome imaginations. But that's a great resource also, and one that you have to use. Any other ideas? You all have said a lot of really good things. Any other ideas? Okay, you've offered up about 5 or 6 things that are perfect tools for creating characters. What is the difference? Because we are going to focus on really high-stake characters, high-stake monologues. How do you create or how do you know the difference between a high-stakes monologue and more just a story? What's a high stake? If it's high stakes, what does that mean?
You
Yes.
have to be the character and not be yourself as the character. Like, you have to be the character.
Okay, so you have to take on the emotions, the feelings of the character. Yes. Crazy.
You have to feel like you need to be telling somebody something.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. All right, so it's high stakes, so it's really important. Yes.
You really, like, you have to not just, you have to really interact with what you're saying. Like, you have to not just be like, say something and then move on as if
Okay, be
nothing
really
ever happened.
invested in it, really believe it.
Really believe what you're doing.
Very good. Yes.
You really need to invest time in your character and not write the monologue and then last minute think of your character. You need to make sure you have a character backstory first and then go in and write the monologue.
Very good. How well do you need to know this character?
You have to know
Like a best friend. You need to know them inside out. You were right. I want you to picture this for a second, and all your answers are absolutely right. Think about the last time that you really just had to tell someone something. Literally remember it. Use your own emotional memory. When was the last time you just had to tell somebody something? Think about what it was. And now I want you to think about, what did you feel like, literally from your head to your toes? What did your body physically feel like when it was like, I have to tell them this? Because that's what a need to speak, high stakes monologue, or a character presentation is. You must tell them. What are some things that you can remember actually experiencing? Yes?
You might feel anxious inside.
Okay, definitely anxious inside. Wesley?
Well, I felt very urgent, like I had to tell something, like no like messing around getting there. You just like have to get to the person and tell them what you have to tell them.
Okay, great word, urgent, urgency. We hear that, we talk about that on stage. We're like, okay, I need to see urgency. So that's a great word for a high stakes monologue. It's very urgent. Anybody else? Any ideas? Yes?
You have this like whole rush of adrenaline.
Okay, that adrenaline rush, yes, that's a really good description physically, what you feel like. I want you literally to think about, what are my hands doing? What do my feet feel like? And that adrenaline rush is very accurate. If I'm just going to tell you, oh, I'll meet you after school, I'm probably not getting an adrenaline rush. If I am feeling like I cannot take this for one more minute, I have to tell you, you are pumped with adrenaline. Yes?
So considering what I told them, I had to make sure that the person wouldn't get offended or anything, and it would make them feel comfortable. So just think of what they would say and try, like, just we don't want to like start drama or conflict or anything. So
Okay, very good. Yes.
I kind of feel like an excitement, almost like butterflies in my stomach, and I kind of do this thing with my hands where I kind of like shake them because I'm just like so excited to get it out.
Okay. And what is she using? As she describes what she does, what's she using? Yes, and her emotional memory. She's telling you, this is what I feel like. So she's tapping into her emotional memory. Think about these things. Does it matter who you tell if it's high stakes? Can you tell anyone, or does it matter usually?
Just it matters.
Most of the time it matters. Sometimes it's just, I've got to tell somebody, but most of the time it matters with the high stakes monologue. You've seen really good ones, and think back to some of those really good ones that we saw. People had a specific person. There were high stakes, but it was high stakes that I tell this person that for a specific reason. So when we were building characters, you all just gave me great tools to use that, to build them with. You can build them on parts of yourselves. Somebody said you build them on someone else, or someone that you know, or someone that you have observed. You can build them on stories that you've read, or things that you've watched. Your imagination, endless. You can take bits and pieces of people and put them together to create a character. All of those things work. When you think about a character, what are some of the things that you really need to, from a profile standpoint, to get a complete person, what are you looking for? Because we know you can't just use one word to describe somebody. So what are some of the different aspects that you have to look for? Yes?
Backstory or events that impacted them a lot.
Okay, backstory, their history, because it does truly affect us all. So you have to know that person's backstory, their history. Yes?
You need to know their relationships with people.
Okay, that's another one of those key words. You need to know, what is the relationship? Sometimes that relationship is why it's so high stakes. So that's really important. Yes?
Their attitude when they talk to people.
Okay, very good. Yes?
Their emotional stability.
Okay, very good. Zoe, trying to get some different
The
people.
way they walk, their body language, what they use to talk, walk, eat, all those things they need to incorporate.
Okay, and even really simple things that you know about a friend, it does make a difference just because it makes you know that character more. Yes?
Their strengths and weaknesses.
Okay, very good. Their strengths and weaknesses. Colton.
Their personality.
Okay, very good, which we know encompasses a lot. And is everybody's personality exactly the same all the time? No. Think of us as people. We can, honestly, there's a lot of inconsistencies. We can be one way most of the time, but something makes us react another way. So you have to get that whole picture of a person. Yes?
You need to know why it's so high stakes, and you need to know what made them feel this way, what made them upset, or what made them super happy.
You're exactly right. And what's that called? You just tapped on it. What is that? That's their motivation, right? That's why. It's the why of the story. Yes, Layla.
They believe in the way they think.
Okay, very good. Yes.
Their current state of mind.
Okay, very good. Their current state of mind. Yes.
Their tone.
Okay, their tone. Very good. Jenny.
Their reason.
Okay, the reason, which is the objective, which we talk about all the time. So now we're going to use this, and we've established all these things that we know about real people. So now let's look at ourselves as the character, because honestly, the person you probably know best in the whole world is yourself. You may know family members or friends, but the real questions sometimes, and sometimes only you really know the answers. So we're going to do the mask I wear activity. It's on your desk, so if everybody will get one, does everybody have where you can have a copy of it? And there are some questions, and I want you to think about yourself with the mask I wear. And before we start, I'm going to do one with you, because there's a vulnerability to this. And I think in this room that we all feel really good. We have established trust in here. We trust each other. Yes? I think we can honestly say that. So we're trusting each other with our stories, with things that do make us feel more vulnerable. And we've created that empathy in this room that it's okay, that you can share your real story. So the mask you wear, when you think about masks, we're not talking about a costume, which we're all familiar with because we're theater people, but the masks that we take on and off in real life, and we all do. And some of those are really effective. There are times when we need those. So I want you to start thinking about some of the masks you wear, and it doesn't have to be, I'm not talking about masks as far as deception, but just they're part of who you are. They're part of the character. If someone were doing a character analysis on you or playing you on stage, what are all your masks? What would someone need to know? So let's think about some of the masks that you wear, and I'm going to tell you some of mine. So a lot of people, I've even had people say, I stand in the hallway in the morning, and we do hall duty, and I've had people go, oh, Ms. Sharp's always in a good mood. But that can be a mask I wear, because I think all of us would agree, some days I'm really not. But a lot of you, because I see you do it, we make that choice, and we're going to smile and be cordial. But sometimes that is a mask, because we're doing something on the outside, and that's the same with characters. They may appear one way on the surface, but you have to go beyond what you see on the surface, find out what's there, and dig to those deeper layers. That's a mask that we may look at and you go, oh, she's always in a good mood. But if you start digging beneath those layers, you're going to find more than that. You're going to find that there's a whole lot more to that. Another mask, and all of you that know me, you know this about me, but because sometimes I'll call on some of you to come and help, but computer things. It's not even a mask, really, but computers, if I was drawing for my mask, I could draw a computer, because when it comes to something computer, I may have to go seek you out. Once I learn it, I'm okay, but that is not this natural thing that comes from me. I have to really figure it out. So that could be one of my masks. And an insecurity, when I learn it, I'm good, but until I do, I'm probably going to have to get some help. So I want you to start thinking, those are some of mine. Think about some of the masks that you put on daily. Think about some of the ways that people perceive you and what's underneath the masks. And some of those are just the things that naturally are a part of your personality. And then I also want you to think about some of if we dig deeper into your character layers, what are we going to find? So we're going to move around the room, and you may just go from table to table. We're going to take about 5 minutes. And the first thing I want you to do before we do that, I want you to take this paper and do 3 symbols. So you're going to choose just drawings of the masks you wear. So if I'm always smiling out for morning duty, I may just draw a smiley face. But then when I talk about it, you can explain, but if you go deeper in those layers, you're going to find that there's a whole lot more to that person. It's not always that way. Or even the reason that someone does that. I shared with you, I may do the computer because there's an insecurity, there's a weakness. I'm going to have to really work hard to be on the same level as somebody that's really, really good with computers. So I might draw that for one of my masks. Even things like, I don't know, just someone that you're looking down. If someone's looking down and that's their mask, maybe it's because they don't feel completely confident with something, or there's an insecurity about something. So even that looking down, or that can be, I'm the drama teacher, so of course she can communicate, and she's never afraid to go on stage, but that's a mask, because I have moments, if I have to get in front of a huge group, I have butterflies just as much as you do. So sometimes that mask, of course she knows how to do that, she's completely confident with that, that's a mask. Underneath you're going to find a drama teacher that has butterflies and can get just as scared as you do. So that could be another mask of mine. I want you to take a few minutes, draw some masks that you wear. And I think in this room we've established we trust each other, so you can be really honest. Don't obviously put down anything you're not comfortable sharing, but just take a minute and draw some pictures of your mask. And then it tells you, what does this represent? And if we start going deep in layers of these characters, why did you choose that? What are some characteristics that when you go through more than the top layer, what are we going to find? You have your 3 masks. If you'll just kind of raise your hand, and that will be my signal that we're ready to move on. raise your hand if you have 3 masks. Okay, let's take another minute. With you. See lots of hands with you. All right, what I'd like you to do is just move from table to table. We're going to take about 4 minutes, and I want you to walk around and look at some of the masks that you see that people have written down, some of the masks that they wear. And we're going to think of this also in terms of characters. So the characters are wearing these masks. These are going to give you ideas for characteristics that you could also apply to a character that you are creating. Why we're doing this, to just be able to relate and find a connection with each other, there are some sticky notes on your table. If you don't have one, I'll get you some. But I want you to, when you walk around, there should be some sticky notes on each table. As you read the mask, if there is something that you read and you can really relate to, just leave them a sticky note. And it can be something as simple as, I totally understand that. I experienced that too. Or I've felt that so many times. Or I've been through that same experience or emotion. If it's not, and you just want to leave a note, that's really impressive that you want to be a doctor when you grow up. So you have a surgical mask that you've drawn. Just something that you can leave some comment. You don't have to, but just choose a few that you can leave a comment for your classmates. All right, so let's just start, kind of go clockwise and move from table to table. When you've seen them, if you want to leave a comment, you may. If not, you can move on and look at some more. But we're going to do a gallery walk for about 3 or 4 minutes where you can read and explore some of the masks that your classmates read about. Also thinking about, these could be great ideas for creating characters for your monologues, characteristics that you could use. Okay, so let's all get up and start walking around. Just explore the masks that have been created.
Joey, put your Cheetos on the
When you find one that you just want to leave a note for, you can grab a sticky note and just leave a note by the characteristic that they wrote about. It could be something you identify with, or you just want to leave them some encouragement, or just some comment. Let's keep them kind, but some comment for your classmates. as you're doing this, I want you to think in terms of knowing each other better, also just encouraging each other. But from a dramatic perspective, I want you to think about ideas for characters that you could get from these characteristics that you're seeing your classmates share. You should take your time, but when you feel like you've made the rounds and you've left all the comments that you like, then just make your way back to your seat. We'll take about another minute. You can still move from table to table, leave some comments. Let's do this. Let's try to make sure everybody has one comment when they come back to their seat. So if you're walking by any that don't have comments, will you please just stop and leave a comment? Let's take about 30 more seconds. Leave any final comments that you'd like to leave. Let's check and make sure everybody has at least one when they go back to their table. That someone's left a comment. And then make your way back to your seats. As you're making your way back, you can find your seat and look over some of the comments that your classmates left you. Okay, so let's think about why did we do that? There were several reasons. One is just as a class, we function better if we know each other well and if we're more empathetic towards each other. And that comes with just understanding each other better, or trying to, even if we're really different, just understanding things about each other. How can you see from a character standpoint in creating a character as we get ready to move into creating characters and scenes and creating a character for your monologue? How could you use these masks to help you in terms of character creation? Did anybody see anything that sparked something that gave you an idea for a character? Yes, Colton.
A lot of the ones that I saw are just really helpful in kind of building up your character and showing a backstory for them. So using it would really be helpful.
Okay, so we've been hearing backstory a lot today. You've used that word a lot because it's an essential element of a character. You have to know their history. They weren't suddenly just dropped there. They have a history. And if it's an original character, it's your job to give them one as an actor, to know what their backstory is. Riley.
So when giving them masks, you're basically giving them many dimensions.
Okay, great point. Characters are multidimensional. Even think of the people you know. You can't use 2 or 3 words to describe them. If you really know them, you have to know their whole story. You have to know their likes, their dislikes. You have to know the things that we talked about before actually seem contradictory. Because there may be someone that you say, oh, she is the sweetest person. In the next breath you go, but she's got the worst temper. And that may be very true. Because as human beings, we do often contradict ourselves. Yes?
By making this mask, I could really use it as even making my monologue about a mask, and really using it and making it like that you're trying to hide behind it. And,
Okay, great point. Okay, anybody else? All right, I want you just to take from this that, and a lot of this you already know about building a character, but Riley used a really good word, multidimensional. When you are creating a character, cover all the dimensions. Because you are telling that person's story. We know that in theater, it's your job to tell their story. So you have to bring all those dimensions to your audience. Every single thing you can find out about them helps you tell their story better. So as you move into creating your characters for your monologues, what's your job? From a character standpoint, you've said it over and over today. What do you need to do? Colton.
Give them their personality and give them a backstory and give them a motivation.
Okay, all those things. We can make a long list of all the things, but basically your job is just to find out every single thing you can about this character, make them as believable, as authentic, get their backstory, get their history. What do they want? How are they going to go about getting it? What kind of obstacles have they faced in the past? What are they facing now? Everything you can find out about them to tell the audience their complete story. Not bits and pieces, but their complete story. So in a few weeks, you're going to be creating your own characters in a monologue. The reason we did this activity today was to help you just get a jump start in thinking about people not only on the outside, but what's behind the mask. What's on the inside with these internal characters. So for tomorrow, I'd like you to create a character for me and create internal and external. Show me the things that are obvious and then start digging really deep for the things that are not. All right.